Welcome to Van Tate's Sports Office, an in-depth look at the world of sports, featuring exclusive interviews with our KRQE News Sports Director Van Tate, sponsored by Caesars Sportsbook at Route 66 Casino.
We have a very special guest for the Sports Office today, a guy who knows a lot about defense, Spence Nowinsky, Lobos defensive coordinator. Man, you put it on people.
I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
And he's humble.
Hey, no, you know what? It's a great group of kids, great staff. I work for an unbelievable gentleman, a leader that's he's incredible. He really is. I'm very, very biased, but he's kind of a dream head coach, and for a lot of people, he's somebody that encapsulates himself to the public. He makes himself a part of the community, and he's somebody that's what you see is what you get with him. You know, he's a regular person, and there's no phoniness to him whatsoever. He's true blue, and he is who he is, and that's refreshing because I've worked for some good dudes over the years, and I worked for some not so good dudes, and he's the best dude. So that truly helps and makes things great.
That dude, Jason Eck, the man, the myth, the legend.
He's the man. He is the man.
Well, man, I was looking at some of the stats for the defense this past season. You guys finishing in the top 50 in total defense, number 41. Scoring defense, allowing 22.31 points, 46. You're still in the top 50. And, we don't see that around here like lately. You guys have been a big breath of fresh air. But the sacks, man, you guys seem to just dial them up, and it's consistent. And you had sacks all the time. And that's something too that was missing here. It was pressure on the quarterback. Is that emphasized?
Well, I'll be honest. By trait and over the years, I've always been a front seven specialist. Yeah. So I've worked with the defensive line. I've worked with the linebackers, and the defense over the years. We've really structured it. Our success is predicated from the front, and we have to be good up front, and we do a lot of different things. We do several different movement things. We do some matchup stuff, and it's a challenge for offenses to not only game plan against, but then they have to protect against and do some different things, and it takes time. And something that takes us maybe 1 minute takes our opposition 10 minutes to plan for, and it's something that over time we've made it simplistic. The biggest thing is this. I want them to play fast. I want guys to play with their hair on fire, minimal thinking, and get vertical, and get pressure on not only the quarterback but the ball carrier in general. And that's creating lost yardage plays. And as a philosophy, we're trying to play great on first and second down and create a third and long situation. Because then we can be multiple. We can do different things. I always say this, hey, listen, I'm not very good looking. I'm not very smart. I'm not a lot of those things, and you always see on the other side of the ball, the offensive coordinator is usually some guy that's, flashy, dresses good, he's thin, he's young, he's got a visor on, he's got a big call sheet with a million different plays on. Hey, that guy's smarter than me. Okay, he's smarter than me. But the guy behind the center, the quarterback, that's the decision maker on the field. That's the guy we have to confuse. We got to damage the decision maker on the field. So that's the guy we have to be smarter than. So we do a lot of things pre-snap to try to create that confusion from different disguises of how we align, different show a blitz from the field, bring it from the boundary. Show a boundary blitz, bring field pressure. Show too high coverage, play single high. Play zero coverage, show like we're playing too high. Different things. It's a cat and mouse game, but it's a cat and mouse game with the quarterback. The big thing today is we have what's called the C2P, the communication system with one of the players on the field. So a lot of offenses now, what they try to do is they try to play the chess game back, they're going to make a check after that 15 seconds are ran off of the play clock. Then the communications shut off. So that's where we try to hold our disguises and our shells within that process. So that's something, again, we work on. We spend a lot of time with it. And then, I think what we're really blessed with and why we got better week after week last year and had good results, our kids are smart. And they're tough physically and they're tough mentally. And that's something that greatly helps. We have some great leaders. You know, you talked about Coach Jack, his son Jackson is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's
unbelievable.
He's got the lunch pail and the hard hat on. Man.
You know what? And that's he was just like academic All-American was announced today.
Yeah.
That was put out. I mean, he's a special kid and somebody that takes great pride in what he does. And I can't say enough great things about him because he is so important to what we do and how we do it. But his communication, his preparation is second to nobody. And for that's a big piece of our puzzle and, part of the magical potion of making us successful.
Well, my eyes didn't deceive me then because I was thinking, man, every week the defense is better. Like it was just getting better and better, and and then you guys had the sacks explosion against New Mexico State, man, 9 sacks, man. What was up with that day? Did everybody eat their Wheaties or what happened?
I think again we did a good job with some matchups that we had against their offensive line, and everybody has one of those special days sometimes too, and
it was special.
We had one of those days, and it was something that was really cool, and it was fun to see because it's a rivalry game. And I won't lie to you, man. Like I hate everybody that we play. You know what I mean? I respect everybody, but I hate everybody.
You see their school colors.
It's fun when you beat a team that's one of your rivals as well. So a lot of fun that day, and just something that our kids play really hard, and they take great pride in what they do, and with the improvement week after week, it's something that today more than anything, there's so many new people. People in your locker room, people in the coaching staff.
Yes.
We came in as a new staff, so when you're learning, everything's new to everybody. Coaching the coaches, coaching the players. How do we do things? Oh, never been on this practice field before. Never been in this stadium before. So there's a lot of little things that sometimes people take for granted. And with that, you grow. And I think the biggest thing is once you really know yourself, then you can dig into your opponent. And once I think our team understood what our system, how we do things, what this coverage does, what this blitz does, how it should feel, how it should look, the timing. I was talking about, the things timing up, our disguises. That takes time and it takes diligence. And with doing that, and doing it at high speed is like nothing else. That's where you gain that, that experience, and you gain that feel of what it's like to do it. And that's something that you garner by getting the experience of playing. So week after week, I knew we would improve. I knew we'd get better. And then once you get that, then heck, then all right, not only do I know what I'm doing, okay, I can see my opponent in this formation, this backfield set. All right, this boundary receivers, tighten down to it. What does that mean? And then now you can really dig into that. This offensive tackle has a great big stagger in his stance. His chest is up. His eyes are up. He's looking out the defensive end. Well, he's telling us different information. So now we can get better and play faster. So those are the little things like right now, starting Monday, we started diving in it right away, and we call it a football school. And it's a voluntary experience where we could bring our players in, watch film with them, and start really going through situations, things that you see. Why is somebody doing it this way? Why do we do this? What to expect? The ball's in the red zone. Well, what do our opponents do? Well, you're going to get some kind of condensed formation. They're going to try to run pick routes, and we get a lot of gadget runs. We play what we call single high coverage. You cover 3 and cover 1 a lot. So people try to get us reduced down and condensed, and then they'll pick us. And then with that as well, we get a lot of gadget runs, because the box is loaded. We have a safety down in the box close to the core. We've got the numbers to stop the run, and people try to then gadget run. So those are the things that we see during the week. So we practice them, we talk about them. So now it's this time of year, which we didn't have last year, of getting better at the little things now. Okay, so how do we understand why they're doing this? How come this is happening? And then even like
that's
going to
be to your advantage too. I mean,
absolutely. And then we're always trying to create more takeaways, and with that, talked about putting our opponent in third and long situations by playing great on first, second down. Well, the best first, second down defense is if you can create a takeaway. So, so there's things of just like, things you might take for granted. You talked about being a tight end and your ball skills. Well, last year we had no time to really necessarily work those ball skills either. Yeah. You get so much time during practice, spring ball.
That's why it was getting better and better.
And so right now we got our guys out, even today, they had the jug machine out and they're catching deep balls. They're working on those skills that we didn't necessarily get to do last year. And then the other thing is, last June is really when our team got here. We had new freshmen. We had portal guys come in. Yeah. So, that's the other thing, building your team. And I will say this again, and Coach Eck is unbelievable as far as building team chemistry. And the word they always use, they describe Coach, they'll say, hey, he's a player's coach. And you know what? Coach is awesome. I mean, it's no better factor than his son playing for us, obviously. But Coach is awesome. He's open. You can address him. You can approach him. He's going to praise you, but then he's going to put his foot in your butt when you need it. You know what I mean? And that's something that, again, that's not frowned upon.
You can respect that, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Kids crave discipline. So
they do.
He's awesome, but he also allows that. And then, he allows us to coach. And he's not a micromanager. He lets us do our thing. And you know what? That gives us now the ability. We have lots of guys that are back. It's exciting for the year to come. And be looking good, looking forward to season coming.
The conversation is just getting started. We have more on the other side.
I'm looking at your personnel, and I was thinking about a guy who came with you, from Ohio, Austin Brawley, man. That guy, I just said we should stop calling him his name, just call him Sudden Impact. It's been a long time since there's been a guy who every game he impacts every game. Every game he's in, he played four of them. He did something in four of them. Yep. And it's always crucial, man. That guy was what is with that guy, man? He got this thing, man.
He's a ball playing son of a gun now.
He really is, man. He's a baller.
If you would see him out on the street, you'd probably think he'd have a skateboard under his arm, and he was, jumping off the steps and stuff like that. And he is. Oh, man, probably 5'10", and, 170 pounds, but he is a ball-playing machine now. He really is. He's smart. He's intuitive. He can really run. He can really
And he
jump.
Cares, because if he's throwing up before the game, man, any given Sunday, that movie, Willie Beeman.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah, because he was telling me he throws up sometime before the game, man. I mean, he cares.
He does.
Because that's like you really thinking about something if it makes you nauseous,
He broke his foot the first game of the year versus Michigan.
And he was impacting that game before that happened.
Yes. And he's tough. He'll tackle you. It was a big loss, a big hit to us because he does have the knowledge of the defense. He was one of the few because we ran it at Ohio.
Yeah.
And even when I went to Memphis in 24, my defensive back coach was made the defensive coordinator when I left Ohio University.
Yeah.
So he ran the same defense.
Right.
And there's things that we do and little nuances always, but the bare bones are still the same. And he knows those like the back of his hand. Yeah. He's one of those guys, too, like, the best players, it seems like they have unbelievable memories. Whatever they've been told, they can regurgitate it like this. And he has that gift.
Because they're into it. It's passion, man,
The greatest thing about Austin is he actually, while he was hurt, he didn't just disappear. He was at practice. He was coaching.
He was trying to help guys out.
Yes, anything he could do. And that was so beneficial and so helpful. We did lose his communication on the field, but he was back there at practice helping guys. And there's different ways of doing things and different ways of coaching. I'm a hard charger. I burn hot. I'm on guys. I'm trying to make guys quit Monday through Wednesday, to be honest with you, because I'm trying to make Saturday easy. So I try to put gas on dudes on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then I back off them on Thursday. I'm giving them confidence and ultimate confidence on Friday, and then Saturday it's on. And if I don't have them prepared then, I did a bad job during the week. Right. So I don't say much on game day unless, somebody's effort might not be great, and then that I'll address. But other than that, it's good to have kind of a yin and the yang where I'm on guys, I'm a hard charger, and then there's guys kind of like, hey, kind of give them the calm. And that's the biggest thing on the field, to be able to give guys calm because, with momentum switching and things that, hey, you know what, we might not have seen that. You know, that's something that, you know, we didn't get a chance to prepare for this week. That's a little new ditty of the week. So his experience, him talking, that calm he can give, there's nothing like that.
You know, Keyshawn James Newby, man. I mean, he's gone now. You know, that was his final. Of course, he did what could he do as he was leaving? 9 sacks, lead the whole Mountain West Conference. But out of the guys that you already have signed, do you have anybody with that kind of pressure or that kind of impact on the game who can just on the front line who could just break through?
You know what? I don't know if we'll ever have another guy. Like, he's special, and he's going to get a chance, obviously, to play on Sundays.
He is, man.
And he's very, very talented. I think we've got guys of you know, similar but different skill sets.
He reminds me of Michael Parsons, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because of his size, and then like you know, like he's got that. Michael Parsons is not the biggest guy in the world. You know, they seem like the same player, man, in the speed.
Yes.
Just wreaking havoc, you know.
You know what? And they can bend, and they can contort, and they understand leverage. And those are the best pass rushers. And Key has that. Key really has that. You know, I think I've told you the last couple of weeks now, I've been watching cut-ups, you know, going through self-scout and watching all of our games from the past season, and, you know, things that we want to tweak or improve and where we have to get better.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, a guy that keeps coming up over and over and over again is Darren Agu. And Darren Agu is somebody I'm really excited about. And he is much bigger than Key. He's probably not as fast and twitchy as Key, but he's got a different skill set of how he can and how he can rush the quarterback. And but he is. I got to be honest. You know, during the games, and you see things, and when you watch the game on Sunday after the Saturday's game, you see this and that. But then now, when you really kind of go back and study it, you see the guys that really, really pop out. And Darren's one of those. And the other guy is Brian Booker. Brian Booker's inside. Yeah. And he is really, really athletic. You look at him, he's a 320-pound kid, but he can bend, and he's explosive. And he's not one of those, you know, unbelievable edge rushers by any stretch of imagination, but he is powerful, and he can get under offensive linemen's pads and lift them and knock them back and push the pocket. And he's really grew as the season went on. You know, UNLV had a really gifted athlete at quarterback and a guy that could scramble around. And there's so many times that Brian did just a great job, and you don't get the recognition for this, keeping him in the pocket. There would be a seam here where he would usually step up and he would scramble. Brian did a great job of just laying over the top of him. So there's a lot of those things too, and just the physicality that Brian has exerted from the past season. Yeah, I'm really excited about those two guys. I think those two guys are some of the top 2 returning defensive linemen in the league, and it's going to be they'll have some very good results coming up this season.
Stay with us. More conversation on the other side.
You know, there was another guy that we talked to. I think he was a freshman, McIver. He's a big guy. You know, like I was just looking at his size. I was like, man, this dude is a big cornbread fed guy, man. You know,
exactly right. Hey, Jalen is something else. Now, I will also say this. You know, Jalen is he's from Alabama originally. And we started recruiting him last spring. And he was at a junior college in Mississippi. And kind of a neat deal. Myself and Coach Loney, Fongapore, defensive line coach, went to Alabama and met with him and his mother and his high school coach, and we're very fortunate to get him here. And like everything, you know, change and culture and you know, being from Alabama, you know, going to school in Mississippi, now coming to New Mexico, it's
different.
It's different.
Yeah.
So there's a learning curve, and then I got this guy yelling at me all the time and pushing me, where it was a little bit more laid back and easy goes at the junior college. So
that's gonna make him better, man.
So he adapted, and I'll tell you what, he got so much better each week. And honestly, like, you never know. You know, sometimes you get a transfer in, and it might take a season to get him right.
Right.
And I will say this: he's not a finished product. He was not, you know, the shiniest of jewels, but week after week, his work, his diligence, he put through the effort and he got better. And even like right now, shoot, he started in several games for us and played in a bunch of games for us. So I'm also excited about Jalen too, because he's a guy now, a little bit different than Book. He's a little bit smaller and probably a little bit quicker and a little bit more explosive speed-wise. Not as strong, not as powerful, but probably a little bit more athletic. And those two together inside, they can create a lot of problems. And they did, we did a very good, we gave up one long run on a jump cut against Minnesota. Other than that, we did a great job versus their run game. And it was due in part to him and Book inside. And that's really those two guys. And I know even Coach Calhoun at Air Force, I heard him talk, and I talked to him after the game, and he said, boy, you guys did a great job up front. And we couldn't block you, and, you created penetration and knockback, and we had nowhere to run the ball. And that was due to those guys. So
that's good.
We've got some good tools in the toolbox to work with here now.
And plus, Jackson will be back as far as linebackers go. And Elijah Brody, how is he doing?
Elijah's doing well. He's had a shoulder surgery, so his shoulder's coming back, and
from quarterback to linebacker,
back to linebacker, and then rushing the quarterback. And I really. Because I'm hard on him, because I see unbelievable potential in him, and he is a very good athlete, and so I'm on him pretty hard, pretty diligently, and I'm proud of him because he has kind of run the gamut now, and he's like, oh, dog, I was a quarterback, and now I'm playing some defensive end, right? It's a different world. We talk about Mississippi to New Mexico, and now we're talking about quarterback to defensive line, and that's. Did
he go back? I know he had gone to linebacker. Did he go back to defensive line?
He did. No, we're playing him kind of an outside linebacker, defensive end.
Okay.
In what we call the boundary, the short side of the field.
Okay.
So he's ran the gamut, and he's worked really hard, and he has put in really good effort, and he's really, a lot of guys too. It's how fast can you mature, and he's matured greatly. He hasn't backed down, and now kind of I said guys that can weather the storm. Now when I usually say things, I just kind of smile. You know what I mean? So I get a smile from him. Just talked to him today in the weight room and smiled and made sure and made him just kind of know, hey, got great belief in you and you're going to make it. So I think Elijah's going to be have a very good and successful time at New Mexico before he's done.
Yeah, I asked about him because he's one of the local kids. They give me a hard rap to hurry up and get out. But before we get out, just want to ask you one more thing. How's the secondary looking? If you gave me a brief summary of the secondary.
You know what? And we're a 4-2-5, and I want to talk about our front all the time. Yeah, no, we have to have good DBs, and we have a really good nucleus of DBs back. We brought a couple of corners in from the portal, and I think they're going to be guys that are going to help us tremendously. I think they're excellent upgrades. I got a young man that was at Cincinnati, young man that was at Ball State. And then, we got Frankie Edwards, who I think he's an unsung hero of our team because he's not real flashy. He's probably, again, you line up and you race kids, and he might not win those races. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, he's got unbelievable heart, unbelievable desire. He's competitive as all get out, and he'll be one of our incumbents at starting corner right now. And then on the other side, then Ja Torres, who was a true freshman, played in the bowl game, started 2 games for us, but played several games. Yeah. He's an unbelievable talent. And he's a guy that has got a bright future in college football and football in general, because we're fortunate to have those guys. And then we talked about Austin Brawley as our field safety. Our boundary safety is another guy that he probably doesn't get enough credit as he does. He's been here, Tavian Combs, and Tavian's played a lot of football for us now, and he's a valuable piece of the puzzle. We do some things with personnel, so when we get to third downs, we try to get our best pass rushers on the field. We try to get our best cover guys on the field. Well, to make that go, we moved Tavian actually to a linebacker position. So now you can't really get personnel. He can cover any tight end there is. He can cover, an inside receiver. He's very, very talented and can do all those jobs. And that's a tough job to fill. So we're very fortunate that Tavian could do a lot of jobs for us and wear a lot of different hats. We'll bring another corner in that's a good cover guy, can cover maybe a fast or small guy. And then Tavian now we got a guy that's physical and tough and also can cover. So he's very, very valuable. And then we play at we call him our star, our nickel safety. We brought in a new young man from Hampton. We've got some young guys that were there last season. So that's one of the positions right now. We're going to do some auditioning here in the springtime and try to shore that up. But other than that, I feel good about it. I'll tell you this, from this upcoming spring to last, it's a different world.
I can't wait, man. When is spring? You guys got a date yet?
Pardon me?
You guys got a date for when spring's supposed to start?
What? We start the 26th of March. Okay. We're gonna do it after spring break, and we're gonna go because the first 2 practices have to be helmets only. Yep. So we're gonna actually go Friday, Saturday, and then we're gonna kind of This is the first time I've ever done this. We're going to then practice Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Oh, cool. So there's so many things on the weekends that you always do. It's kind of nice in spring ball now. The weekends will be a little bit cleaner. So looking forward to that.
Well, hey, man, thanks for coming on. Spence Nowinsky, UNM Football defensive coordinator. The man's job is to shut things down, and that's what he does. We'll see you next time. Fernando Perez behind the controls. We're out.